Welcome back to Trots TV. Time to have a look at On Trial this week, and once again I've gone through the trials and I've tried to highlight a few horses to follow going forward. We're going to start with the trials at Newcastle on Wednesday, December 9, and this is trial number 1. Horse by the name of Rock Me Mama. This one, trained by Daryl Thomas, was driven in the trial by Guy Chappell. If you're looking for the horse on the replay, you're looking for the horse that we associate with the Shane Tritton colours, the red and the white. But this was definitely Rock Me Mama. What I found really interesting about this trial was how far the filly was off the gate when the starter said go. She wasn't in her position. She was a long way off the start, but gee, she does a really good job. And I think they're going to have a little bit of fun with her. She went around in a Heat of the Gold Tiara at Bathurst. She was beaten by a pretty smart one in 3 squared. But it's what she does in this trial that is quite exciting. She hits the front soon after turning for home, keeping in mind that, you know, during the trial, after she misses the start by such a long way, she's forced to just follow the pegs, follow the field, and then as they come into the final 600 metres of the race, she starts to make a move, gets off the pegs, and starts to go around them. Hits the front not long after turning for home, and runs down to the line quite impressively. Now, overall, the time was only 1:59.5, but you've got to factor in the fact that she was so far off the gate when they said go. They ran 58.4 for their last half. They ran home in 28.7, and that all suggests to me that Rock Me Mama is going pretty well, and I would be keeping an eye on her when Daryl Thomas produces her. So there's the first one of the afternoon. That is Rock Me Mama from the Newcastle trials. Let's move ahead to the Menangle trials on Friday afternoon. And the horse that I want to highlight was the winner of trial number 2 on the program, and that was a horse for Darren Hancock called Look and Listen. Now, this was a pretty impressive performance. Horse is a Kiwi. I think it's had about 16 starts in its career, and I think it's going to win some here in Australia. She's only won the 1 race, and she's run a couple of placings, and I think she was placed at Alexandra Park just before coming across to Australia. Look, she left the gate reasonably well. Darren Hancock did have to grab hold of her in the early stages. She just put in a couple of rough strides when Darren was trying to get her to come back to him to get in onto the marker pegs, and she settled 3 back on the inside and was happy in that position once she got there. Now, the horse in front of her actually gallops as they are about to turn into the straight for the run up the final 400 metres, but she doesn't miss a beat. She just pushes through up underneath that horse, and she looks really workmanlike. Then halfway down the straight, she's on Born to Rock and Roll's back, who's a nice horse, and Darren Hancock pulls Look and Listen to the outside, and gee, she motors home. She looks one of those really pacey types that just needs to be coiled up. She'll be well suited by Menangle. I can see Darren Hancock driving her quietly in the early stages of a race and then just producing her in the straight, and she can just round them up. She looks to be really fast. Overall, they went 1:54.1 for the mile. They got home in 56.2 and a slick 27.6 up the straight, and she's obviously gone a length quicker than that. She looks really speedy to me, and I think she is well worth following. Look and Listen out of trial number 2 at Menangle on Friday. And the final trial I want to show you is the trial at Bathurst on Monday night. Now, it's trial number 2, and it's the second horse. I want to show you a horse called Left Neglected. Now, Left Neglected is a horse trained by Nathan Turnbull. I have highlighted a few of the horses that Nathan's now got in his stable. I think he's putting together a pretty smart team around him, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him train a few winners over the Christmas New Year break. But watch this horse, Left Neglected. Trials against a pretty smart customer, a Metropolitan performed customer in Saloon Passage, and he's run some really quick times in the past. But Left Neglected gets out of the gate pretty well, settles very quickly on the back of Saloon Passage, and doesn't move from that position for the rest of the trial. And although it's only a C3, Nathan Turnbull aims up, gives the horse a little bit of a look up the sprint lane when it does become available, and is effectively just happy to coast home on the back of Saloon Passage. I thought the trial was really good, a nice quiet trial, but the time was what impressed me the most. The mile rate 1:55.8. They got home in 56.8. last 400 in 27.7. So that to me suggests that Left Neglected's got a win in it pretty quickly, and I would be following the Nathan Turnbull stable over the Christmas break, because I do think there'll be a few winners, especially out Bathurst Way, with the big meeting coming up, of course, on Boxing Night, the Shirley Turnbull Memorial evening. So my 3 horses to go on trial this week, they are Rock Me Mama from the Newcastle trials on the 9th. We move forward to Friday the 11th, and I think Look and Listen was very impressive for Darren Hancock. And the last one is the performance of Left Neglected, who trialled at Bathurst on Monday.